So hey guys, today I get to interview Caleb. Now Caleb is an absolute rock star. He's a superstar. He's someone who's from the get-go, from day dot, had committed to his personal transformation. Now the cool thing with Caleb is he's lost 9 kgs in 7 weeks. Now if you've tried to, double down and actually, achieve your fitness goals, you know what I'm talking about when you know that it's hard. The thing is that what I love about Caleb is that he doesn't even talk about that bar when I actually question him about it. He talks about the results that he's been able to have, his energy levels, his anxiety, his ability to cope with work, his productivity, his intentionality at home, the fact that he's a better role model and leader for his family. Now that's where the game is absolutely changed. And so I know for Caleb, it's been a huge win for him. And so I'm excited to bring this interview to you. So what I want you to do is just have a sit back and relax and listen to some of the wisdom that comes from Caleb and his journey so far. Enjoy.
Yo.
Oh, all right, team. I'm here with Caleb, and Caleb's been on our 90-day program. He's just jumped onto the Dadbod Reset, and Caleb is 7 weeks down, and he is 9 kgs, I believe. Is that right, Caleb? 9 kgs?
About 9. Yep.
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, so here's the deal, Caleb. What we're going to do, man, we're going to dive into your story, and basically I want you to kind of share your wins and share everything that you've kind of been through and basically how it's affected your family. And so let me ask you your first question, dude. Basically, I want to know a little bit more about your story. Kind of where were you at before you initially reached out?
Yeah. So before this whole 90-day challenge, I was in sort of a different place, you could say. Like my whole life, I'd never done the gym routine, the healthy food, anything like that, because I thought it was just another thing to think about on top of the stress of everything else together.
Sure.
So it got to the point where I was just too sick of my wife telling me you're fat, but no, in a nice way,
I know the feeling, dude.
Nah, but with that, you have to think long term to the point of, if I am eating like this, how's my health going to end up for my kid? So when I saw you bring up the 90-day challenge, I thought it was a mean opportunity to get away from the place I've been stuck my whole life,
Yeah.
Where I'm semi-active, but not as enough as I should be. I'm pretty much eating anything that comes in front of me because I love food, and I decided it's just one of those things,
Yeah.
And then, but with that comes a whole lot of, I don't know if it affects your brain chemistry or what have you there. Because like you say, you're looking in the mirror, you're looking at yourself, and then a whole bunch of negative thoughts, negative emotions can overwhelm you. And that's before you even start your day.
Yeah.
You don't want to go out and try on clothes because you think everything's just going to make you look bad. So you get the baggiest you can find.
For sure.
Not just trying to look gangster. It's just, to hide everything. But yeah, I mean, it was a place where I let the fear of everything, the whole thing, like, this is not going to work for me. I decided that was set in stone and that was my path. So it was something I didn't worry about. Absolutely. But the more my wife pressed on me that, she's not telling me just to put me down. She's telling me because she is, literally worried about my future and my health. That's what, set it in place that I need to change this at some point and set right.
Yeah.
So before that 90-day challenge started small, cutting out sugar, watching what we're eating, trying to find healthier diets and stuff. But yeah, man, when you chuck that up, I jumped onto it like the 10 Commandments. I'm going to try and follow that if need be, just to, try something new. But it's also the way you put it as well, where it's not something that I have to overthink about because you've done so much work already and putting it in place and putting it as a structure where it works around everything that I'm doing in my life.
For sure.
It's not something I have to stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was wicked, man. That was wicked. And I'm just, going through that, seeing the progress and man, I'm blown away.
Yeah.
But I'm an emotional person. I'm gonna try and keep that from you fellas. But yeah, it's all.
Nice, man. You've come a long way, dude, and I know that it's affected your family a lot and your intentionality with your family. So tell me, dude, like you
Yeah.
did all of the stuff beforehand was really starting to impact not only like your body but also the way that you were thinking. How was it affecting your family as well?
Well, when it comes to family, yeah, I mean, just like you say, working on yourself, it affects it in a way. Like before, I didn't have the energy to do anything. I'd come home from work and I'd sit up on the couch being exhausted,
Yeah,
even though I work as an outbound sales. So I'm just sitting on a chair phoning people.
yeah,
But even that, it would just drain me to the point where I got home, I didn't want to do anything. I wanted my kids to go to bed to give me that space, and I just wanted to eat and sleep,
yeah,
or stay up so I didn't waste the day. But just
yeah,
with that, I was drifting away from what my family needed to be. So
for sure.
the way this has changed is I've got that more of a energy, more of a willpower to just do things.
Mm,
So sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'll go do what needs to be done, do a bit of cleaning, do a bit of searching, wake up my kids, feed them breakfast and just play with them for the fun of it. Or
yeah,
come home from work and sit down with my son and watch a little bit of TV before he goes to bed, spend that quality time
yeah,
and just, yeah, it's affected the whole mindset, putting a positive spin on everything, not worrying about the negatives that I'm facing internally with my body and turning that into just a positive outreach for my family. Now,
yeah,
obviously, we still have our troubles here and there. I won't get into detail, but it's definitely a lot better than how things were before. And that's always
for
positive.
sure.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah, nice, man. Look, man, I
Yeah,
think
man.
you've kind of hit on a few things here. Like you've hit on the fact that your mind was an issue and that there were some limiting beliefs, worried. And then you also said that there was this kind of fear of adding one more thing to your life. Kind of tell me what was one of the biggest, limiting beliefs or biggest barriers to you getting, crossing the line and actually getting down to business. There's quite a few things there, but tell me what was the biggest barrier in your mind?
You mean jumping into the healthier lifestyle, the
Yeah,
exercise, all that?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Far out. I guess, yeah, my biggest barrier would have been I decided that it was, again, just something else to stress on, worry on, because you always hear people talking about, I'm cutting down on my carbs, on my fibers, and all these different words that I didn't understand at the time.
yes,
So I'm thinking on top of everything, because, yeah, it would very easy for me to cut. I don't know how to say that word, compartmentalize, is that it?
yeah, compartmentalize. Yep, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, so I pretty much put everything in my life to its own little compartment to make sure it all fit. And then
For
I
sure.
decided pretty much there was no more room for anything else.
Absolutely. Yep.
So it would have just thrown everything into disorder.
Yep.
But yeah, that was definitely my biggest hurdle, finding space for it to fit in on top of everything else where I didn't just feel too overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, like we've touched on, the way you've set it up and structured it, it's made it easier to jump into without rocking the boat. So
Absolutely, man. And like what we're trying to do is really eliminate the thinking on your part, outsourcing the strategy to me so that you don't actually have to think that the whole program is
mm,
just predicated on you actually doing the work. And what my job is to do is to get the
yeah,
mind in a place where, we can absolutely crush it because we got rid of that compartmentalized identity. And I think that's one of the most harmful
yeah,
identities as well, because it is a stressful identity. Like I do have all of these different things going on in my life. So how am I actually going to fit that? And then it's one more thing to think
yeah,
about on top of everything else. And it's just like, it's so hard to do that. But like one thing that we really hit on in the program, and you'd know this, is that when we compartmentalize our life, it's harder to really get progress. And so one thing
yeah,
about health and fitness is that it's actually streamlining the rest of your life. It's actually the thing that actually is the umbrella for everything else, because there's two things that you can't buy. Right. The first thing is you can't buy time. And then the second thing is you
yeah,
can't buy your health. Like there's so many people who have all the money in the world, but when they're sick, they can't buy healthiness. You just
right,
can't.
Yeah.
it's all predicated on how you use it, you know. And so those two things there, those two valuable resources, your time and your health, that's essential for us to get right now. And it takes like a decision to actually move forward in those. And when you can move forward in them, then you'll find out that that's the umbrella that holds everything else. And
Yeah.
we talk about time being added because of your fitness, and it's not just time being added because they say there's 1 minute, every minute of exercise adds 7 minutes to your life. But what
Yeah.
we say is that not only do we want to add, you know, the quantity of time, we actually want to add the quality of time, the presence, the, you know, the energy level, so that you can spend time with the kids, and so that you can wake up a little bit earlier to spend time with your daughter and you know, your son, sorry, and you know, and do things like that. And so that's what we're trying to focus on there. But I believe that a lot of it starts up here in the mind, and I think the biggest change that I've seen in you is, and you see it in everybody who wins and see it in everybody who makes massive change, is the change happens here before it happens physically. And I think what stands out for you, dude, is that you were someone who jumped all in from the beginning, and you're still there.
Yeah.
And I think that initial proactive decision stops you from making all of these reactive decisions along the way. So I just want to lift you up for that, man, because that's an awesome thing, dude.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, nice. So you got a couple of wins, dude. Tell me what have you been able to achieve in the short 7-week period that you've been on this?
Oh, that's a good question in itself. What have I achieved? Oh man, just little steps, little steps. I mean, it started off with definitely my health. When I jumped on that nutrition, my big win was the fact that I could move around easier. I felt like I could just wake up and take on the day as it was instead of feeling, you know, weighed down by it.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. For me, like, you know, I don't think I had much body strength at all before I jumped in the gym as well. Because I've never done gym for a whole routine. So each time I could lift, you know, a slightly heavier weight or push myself that little bit further, that was a major win for me, because I can constantly see that this is working. There is progress in this, you know. And then my body's just going to be a product of that comes later, one step at a time. But
for sure,
it's a major win. Far out. There's just too many wins. I don't know how to explain them all.
Yeah, man.
Family is a win in itself. Seeing how that's the time spent as a family, how that's changed in such a major way in such a short amount of time.
For sure.
Again, because starting with, you know, I'm not overthinking every decision, every situation, every part of my day before jumping into it.
Yeah.
I'm just going on and enjoying it, you know, trying to look at the positive attitude and finding a spin. Because one thing we do in sales at work is if we're stuck on something, it's about finding a new route of thinking about it. Or if there's an objection coming your way, finding a way to think about it in a different aspect to make it make sense.
Yeah.
So that's one thing as well. Each challenge I'm coming across, I'm able to use that in this to just, well, okay, maybe this isn't working for me this way. I'm thinking about it the wrong way. There's another way to, you know, that it makes sense. And that's where a lot of your videos, again, have come into perspective, because I'll think, this ain't going to work. It seems insane. And then you'll explain it into detail. Like, I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. You know? It's been a real win in itself. Because like you say, you know, the battle starts and ends in the mind.
Yeah. So
with that, my mind was my biggest hassle before I jumped into this, because I did have I overthought everything. That was my way. You know, that was my big block. Everything in my life, I would overthink it to the point of where it's just, I can't remember what it was called. You said it on one of your videos. It's a certain way of thinking where it stops you from acting as well, because you've thought about every single way it could go.
Yeah,
but
paralysis.
It just stops from
paralysis by analysis. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah. I was stuck on that for too long, eh?
Yeah.
But like I did, I'm able to always go back to when I started this program, the fact that, like you said, I'm able to just jump into it and give it a go. I need to do that with a lot of different things. Like, there may be a whole bunch of different outcomes, but like they say at work, you know, if you can't fix it, what's the point of worrying about it right now? You know,
Absolutely.
you got to give it a go and see what the outcome's going to be before you really just overwhelm yourself with it.
For sure.
So yeah, it's again getting out of the negative. It's really affected my work life.
Yep.
My work life was, I'd go down, I'd sit at my desk, and a whole bunch of thoughts would come into my head, like, you can't do this, you may have done this before, this is going to stop you, or this is going to stop you. And it'd get to the point, man, where I'd go sit in the bathroom on the floor for 10 minutes and just try and regather my thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with this, I've been able to take the aspects that I'm learning about my health, about my fitness, take them into work, and then jump into it like, we got this. It's just another day. It's
Awesome.
another call. As long as you've got, a fresh attitude and then a fresh way of thinking, then it's going to be sweet,
Absolutely.
And I'm just, everything is a win in itself.
Cool, man.
So, I appreciate it.
Awesome. You know what the coolest thing about it is that while you've lost 9 kgs, the biggest wins for you aren't the results themselves. It's who you're becoming and who you are to your family and who you are at work and what's happening in your mindset. And that's what I really try and drive home. That's our message, is that, the results, that's the byproduct of just doing work. The results, that's the easy part. The physical results, they come. But the hardest part for us is actually changing the quality of your life, which starts. It's a mindset game, and the reason why that people don't have sustainable results is because they want to go after the thing. They want to lose the weight, want to, get the abs or whatever. They want to have biceps. That's just, it's not sustainable. But when you focus on who you are and who you're becoming and who you want to be, that's where the game changes, man, because then everybody around you gets a better experience of you. You actually take a different approach and different outlook on life, and it's all positivity, man. So, and that's where sustainability happens, brother. That's where the game changes and we win indefinitely. So that's awesome, man. Hey, I got one more question for you, man. Like, I'm super stoked for you, man. That's so cool. And it's awesome that you're sharing your journey with us. But what would you say your advice for other dads would be, man, that were in your situation?
Oh, mate, a couple of things, I mean, the first one is teamwork makes the dream work. So it's something I say that again and again because, through this whole, if you're jumping into this program, we've got a community going on. So you can see that there are other dads that are having the same struggle as you, going through the exact same battle. And instead of and just throwing up a whole bunch of, this ain't working for me, I don't know what to do, this ain't working right, they're asking each other questions on how they've gone past that obstacle, how they've figured out a way to get past it, or even just asking simple questions on how to move forward with different things they don't understand. And that's beautiful to see. We've got a community here of dads that not only want to see themselves progress and get better, they want to see the whole community grow together.
Absolutely.
They want to see that progress in each other's lives because it helps to build themselves up as well. So it's beautiful. So I mean, teamwork makes the dream work, no doubt about it. You'll hear that everywhere.
I'm stealing that
other
one.
the other one the other one is, like Aaron says, the battle starts and stops in the mind. I mean, I can see now that I'm a byproduct of that. If you're willing to jump in there and give it all you got and give it a go, then results are going to come, I mean, you may not see it in a week or two, but the results are going to come. But with that, at least you can see, again, putting in the effort, even in the smallest parts of your life, there's going to be a change. And people around you may even see that before you do. But when you do, you'll realize that this is working. This is such an amazing opportunity that's getting me to a place I never thought was even possible.
Absolutely.
So just, and instead of thinking it as go hard or go home, you got to think of it as go hard or repent. All right? I'm hoping a lot of you fellas know what repent means, just, get out of the mindset, man. Go hard or repent, because you can do it. If you think you can't do it, then you've already got something wrong, all right? Ask a brother and we'll help you out.
That's right, man. Awesome, man. Teamwork makes the dream work, and it all begins and ends in the mind. That's awesome, man. Mean advice. And it's funny because on a fitness challenge, you wouldn't expect those two things to come out, and yet those are the things that we're going to continue to hear, and because it's absolutely true, man. With us, we focus on a number of things. Number one, we've got a message. The message is we've got to solve this problem of the dad bod, all right? It's because it's absolutely impacting our lives, and it's funny that the world is termed, and it's a trending term, the dad bod. However, we kind of joke about it, but the reason why it exists is because it's actually a problem. And the way that people deal with problems is sometimes they make jokes about them, and that's why we need to redefine the narrative. So we've got a message, but the next thing is we've got a strategy. The strategy is where you get the physical results. The strategy is the easy part. The best part about this journey is the environment, and we've got, like you said, a community of dads who are absolutely crushing it. And I know the moment that somebody gets involved in that, and they see that there's a number of different guys absolutely getting their results and getting them very quickly as well, but not only what it's doing at a physiological level, at a physical level, at a psychological level, that's when you can't help but jump on board and add to the value of that community, because it's changing you too. So I think that's me, man. Teamwork makes the dream work, and it all begins and ends in the mind. Look, dude, I'm not going to hold you up anymore. That was awesome, man. And I want to thank you for sharing your journey. I'm excited for what's next, because I know that you're on the 28-day challenge and Dadbod Reset. I know that that's going to kick things up for you and absolutely slay it. So the results are coming, man. And I just want to encourage you again to keep it up. Keep smashing it, keep being an excellent dad, and we're going to win, dude, and we're going to make sure that we see that through. All right?
No, we're all going to win at the end of the day.
For sure. Look, man, that's been cool. It's been cool to have you on. All right, Caleb, take care, dude.